Hello, welcome back. We are on lesson 123 of A Year of Miracles with Inner Bloom. The idea for today is I thank my Father for his gifts to me. Again, the Course in Miracles uses very biblical language, but we are thanking God, Source, Infinite Being, um, for the gifts. It's all about gratitude. It's all about being grateful for everything, being grateful for everything small and big, everything that all the experiences of love, joy, and peace that we've had thus far, even if you feel like you still get drawn into the story. I guarantee you've had these moments of joy and bliss and peace that you can be grateful for. Um, the glimpses into salvation, the glimpses into your true nature, the lessons, you can be grateful for the lessons. Um, Gratitude, I know because you're an inner bloom, I bet you have at least heard of, if you haven't personally experienced, the power of gratitude. This is one of my favorite things in the world. Gratitude is this like magical, all-purpose medicine. It opens your heart to love. It opens your heart to to magic because you're already seeing where magic is occurring in your life. You're already seeing where love and abundance are occurring in your life. You're already seeing where peace is occurring in your life. And you are saying yes and engaging with it and thank you and more please, right? And so this gratitude changed my life. It healed me in so many ways. And that's what today is all about. Today is just asking you to take a day to truly be grateful for everything, everything, the little things, the big things, the glimpses, and especially, and this is just my little addition because it's arising for me here. Um, Especially if you're like, I don't get it. I don't feel like I'm where I should be in A Course in Miracles or any of those type of like doubts or like um self-condemnation or something. But you've had glimpses, you've had moments, you've you can always find the peace, the gold in it. You can always find the peace of like, well, actually, I feel like I haven't gotten it, but I'm seeing more peace and love in my day-to-day experience now. Whatever it is for you, it's going to be unique. It's going to be unique for you. So look for those gems, look for those pieces of gold. Turn away from the stories of, I'm not there yet, it's not working, I don't have the money I need, my business is successful, my love life. Turn away from that just for today and choose to look at every single thing that you're grateful for. Recognizing these gifts that you're given every single day reinforces your connection to God, Source. When you really focus on gratitude, you shift from the attention on lack to the clear seeing of abundance. When you focus on gratitude, you shift from it's not working in your life to what is working. When you focus on gratitude, what it looked like for me when because it really did heal a lot just from the tool of gratitude. It was like I was in this main state of being of depression and self-pity and guilt, and it rose my main state of being just a little bit at a time. Then it became, it went from that to maybe a little bit of like, like apathy. Then maybe there was a little bit of hope. Then from hope, it was like, oh my gosh, this is actually kind of fun. I love feeling this. And until I was crying tears of joy for no reason at all, just for life through the art of gratitude. So today, practice it. Today, try it out. Thankfulness is one of the most powerful tools for healing and transformation. To practice this today, again, we'll just do that 5 to 10 minutes morning and evening, spending it in gratitude, reflecting on all the things that you're grateful for, all the gifts you've received. Hourly, pause briefly just to thank God Source for all the blessings that you've gotten, that you've received. And as needed, use gratitude to counter feelings of scarcity and dissatisfaction. Sammy?
I loved that. You were like peeping over the threshold every time, and your face got brighter and brighter. It was so cute to watch. um, yeah, and you know what? Even you just saying this today, I could already think about the things that I was grateful for. You know, but sometimes it's seeing things beyond the surface, and sometimes it's also zooming out. For example, I was walking here today, this office space that I'm working in, and I found 5p on the floor, and there was people walking towards me, and I literally was like, yes, yes, I'm so grateful. They were like, I was like, yeah, but you don't know what this means, right? And I was just like, that I received money for doing nothing. Right? I could have just looked at that and thought that was 5p. But I allowed myself to be grateful for the bigger message that I was able to connect to at that time. And that's what I was thankful for. I wasn't thankful for the surface level thing. I was thankful for how it made me feel, and then the narrative and the story that I got to experience as a result of finding that 5p on the floor, right? I was like, oh my goodness, I'm tuned into abundance. I'm tuned into money. I receive money without doing anything. Right. And so it's always the narrative that we have about things. If you are struggling with gratitude, you have to shift the way that you're looking at things, right? Because when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And so the reason why gratitude helps is because you are slight like um shifting every single time, right? You're choosing to see things from a different lens. And you know, same way we've spoke about before as the radio station, what you're doing is when you're tuning into gratitude, you're changing your frequency to one of gratitude, and therefore, like attracts like, you then start to have more things to be grateful for, right? And so, you know, forgiveness and gratitude, you know, it's like me and Karina said before, like, this work is simple. Doesn't mean to say it's easy. It's not easy because of all the programming. But imagine like stripping, right? One of the things I love to say is, who are you without your past? Okay. So you're free from any conditioning. And your only job is to forgive and to be grateful. Like, what? And to feel joy and happiness and peace and love. Like, how lucky are we? How lucky are we to get to experience a life like that? And yeah, we then start to be like, oh, yeah, but it's just not like that. Well, it's not like that because you continue to believe in the grey clouds, in the storm, in the darkness, right? You're forgetting the light, the sun beyond that all the time. And so if you're struggling to find gratitude in your circumstances, zoom out, but also look back, right? Where are you now that you wish, like, or something that you have in your life now that you wish you once had? Or look at your family or your ancestors, right? The fact that you can pick up your phone and speak to somebody you love, the fact that, you know, you can connect with people around the world, or, you know, whatever that looks like for you, there are people before you that didn't have that luxury. You know, running water, you know, centuries ago, people had to walk for water. They didn't have taps where water come out of it. They didn't have hot water. And so, you know, they had to fight for their food. Right? They had to go out and hunt. Not the women, obviously. But, you know, the fact that we can go to the shop and get, you know, get whatever we want to eat. Oh, how lucky are we? And so um there's plenty, absolutely everything to be grateful for when we allow ourselves to connect to that feeling.
Yes. And that's, it's funny that you bring up those things because when I was practicing gratitude, when I healed so much in my life because of gratitude, that's exactly what I would do. Sometimes I would just be grateful for the internet or just be grateful that I had, a phone and just be grateful that um being in the programs I was in or the courses I was in, hot water, like, no, I'm sorry, central heating and running water, those type of things. And it's not because you should be like, well, I should feel lucky because there's people out there that don't have it, but it's just about like recognizing every gift that you have because it is a luxury, because it is a gift, not because like Oh, we're not comparing ourselves to other people, but we are looking at our lives and recognizing the jewels and the gifts. And then another thing that came up while you were speaking that think I would like to add is, the difficulty of forgiveness and also like finding gratitude, especially when you're in a challenging place. The truth of reality is not to say that like scary things don't happen or real like there's real dangers don't appear in reality, like if you were to be chased by a tiger, it would be absolutely reasonable to be scared and be running away and you have a real absolute problem. But those problems, if we really look at it, if we're being really honest with ourselves, are like a small, tiny, tiny, tiny present themselves in the grand scheme of life and how life presents ourselves. Most of our problems, most of these things we're going, yeah, but you don't understand. I'm blah blah. They're they're stories that we're just repeating in our inner world. You're sitting there, everything's fine, you're in no immediate danger. Nothing actually is happening in that moment, but your thoughts are going and your emotions are going, and now you think that you're in danger. And no, why can't I forgive? I can't have gratitude. I can't forgive. But it's only because you're just cycling over the past. Like Sammy said, who would you be without your past? You're just recycling the past again and again and again. Is anything is are you being chased by a, what did I say, lion, tiger? Are you being chased by an animal, which is why fear is arising, which is why you're in fight or flight? Or are you in fight and flight because you've been repeating a story and program again and again and again in your head? And so you're telling yourself, well, I can't, how can I forgive? How can I be grateful? Even if you can just drop that for a moment and tap into that gratitude and tap into that forgiveness, it becomes easier the next time and easier the next time and easier the next time. And then you might notice, hmm, I'm only in fight and flight 60% of the day instead of 80. And then it goes down. Like again, I talked about the emotional main state. Literally, that's what happened to me. I was having panic attacks weekly, anxiety almost every single day, depression, and of course, obviously some of this other work contributed a huge portion to where I am now. But I got out of fight and flight mode and into a place where I was open to peace, forgiveness, and joy, which prepped the ground for where I am now through gratitude. So that's what I want to add. Anything else, Sammy? Okay. Thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow.